Good evening. I've forgotten which episode number this is, but I'll put it in the video title as usual. One of the things I'm trying to do at the moment is validate that everything that I wish to do on my computer I can do on Linux to at least the same level of quality as I could on Windows. Part of that is this podcasting. This is testing using OBS Studio to record everything. Then I'm going to edit it in DaVinci Resolve, which is what I would normally use on Windows. Resolve appears to work perfectly fine on this computer in Linux, same as it did on Windows, so I'm happy about that. Occasionally I've done these episodes where I stream things. I'm not brave or stupid enough to do a streaming test live by streaming as the first thing I do, but I'm going to test that this recording works, including some fairly advanced audio and video things. So roll intro. This is just a Logitech webcam that I've had for many, many years now. But I also have a Blackmagic Decklink capture card and a Blackmagic cinema camera, which is what I normally use to record the full podcast on. So if everything's working, you're going to see the switch to that right now. There we are. Now the color grade is obviously going to be different, and I'll try and sort that out in editing. But on my monitoring, it looks like this is working perfectly fine. I'll also now test some of the more tricky audio stuff. So let's plug this guitar in and play an E minor. And I see audio in the mixer panel on the Quad Cortex channel, so very good. Cool. I also have it set up to record bass on the different channel. Having seen the one work, I've no reason to think the other one isn't. And plugging that in has peaked the meters as it usually would. Good. Now let's try the drum kit. Let's try a drum fill. All of that is quite hard to do. I mean, the bass is quite hard to do, and the drum's quite hard to do when you can't hear the sound you're making, because in the room it's pretty much silent. I can't turn the monitors on and have it played back to me, because that will hit the microphones and then feedback and create a horrible squealing noise. Now, the other thing I need to test is that I can capture a window on the PC in order to share it. Normally, of course, I'm doing some kind of CAD or whatever, but for today, I'm going to show you some that I can share Visual Studio Code and say, this is, I think, the main patch that I needed to have to get my audio interface working. So it basically limits the rate to one of these two. So we don't set rate max to the true maximum audio rate that this interface can do. That turns out to be important, because elsewhere in the code, there's a tendency to set the interface to its maximum sample rate, which is great for most purposes. But unfortunately, with this audio interface, setting it to its max sample rate disables half of the IOs and several other features which I actually use. So I don't want the rate to be too high, and this is a way of sorting that out. Now, if you have an Arturia Audio Fuse 16 rig and you want it to work on Linux and you want to use this driver, there's a link in the video description. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person who's got this problem. As far as I'm aware, I'm the only person who's got this driver. I would value testing of more use cases than just mine before I ask to put this patch into the Linux kernel, because it seems a bit disproportionate for me to ask them to add as many lines of code as it's going to have to be to make this cleanly merge into the standard USB audio driver just to support, one person's use case. So, yeah, do let me know if you have a use for it. I also want to say that although it's listed on my GitHub and whatever, as I've documented on my GitHub very openly, I just copied the standard Linux USB audio device driver. I added a couple of patches that the maintainer of that gave me that would enable more than 16 channels of audio, because this thing has 34 channels, and I'm using 28 of them, which is a bit mad, I suppose. I did have to make some other changes to deal with the unique behaviors of this interface that are not aligned with the normal behavior that driver assumes, because it's a weird piece of studio gear and not a basic motherboard audio interface. If you're seeing this, then whatever worked in it worked, and I will have put on the screen an entirely edited and uploaded in Linux banner if that is what's happened, or if I had to go back to Windows for some reason. Editing Phil will put in a card here to explain why that is. Good job, editing Phil. Wow, thank you. Cheerio, everyone. See you in the next episode.